I will never forget my 23rd birthday. For my parents, my siblings, my girlfriend back then, and my friends, it was the happiest birthday of their life. A week earlier, I had been seriously injured. At those time, I was a commander in an elite unit, and I was shot during an operation I was leading. For an entire week, I was sedated and kept alive on a ventilator. They had been prepared by a team of doctors that these were my last hours, and that I was going to die any moment. But I'm here and I'm alive. For them, I was reborn. For me, the moment of my awakening was the saddest moment in my life. Before my injury, I stood 6 feet tall. I was leader in an elite military unit. I had life full of meaning, and here I was, awake and alive, but paralyzed. I tried to get up, but I couldn't. My upper body hurt a lot, and I couldn't feel my lower body at all. I could see my toes at the end of the bed. I tried to move them, but they didn't seem like they belonged to me anymore. I had lost 20 kilos in 1 week. With all the obvious joy at me being alive, no one was able to look into my eyes. I saw everyone try to find a different point to look at. One after the other, my friend dropped by to see me. They all said something along the lines like, "Whoa bro, great view." After 5 or so visitors, I realized that I wasn't seeing what they were seeing. At some point, my brother took the mirror off the wall to show me what they were all talking about. A stunning view of the sea, ships unloading their goods, people going for a swim in the middle of the week. They could see the sea. All I could see was a wall. My friends who came to visit me had suddenly lost their words. The best way out of a situation like that is to give someone a hug. But how do you hug a person lying injured in the bed? To this day, people don't know whether to hug me or not. That morning, on the 9th floor of Rambam Hospital, my doctor told me that I would never walk again. That same day, a friend came to visit me, and he told me that he was giving me 2 months to prepare myself to the journey. Which journey? I asked him. We are going to do the 21 days Kilimanjaro trek. What are you talking about? Roei, you are the one that always says, there's no such things as can't. This sentence had been my slogan when I was a commander. For months following my injury, I tried to remind myself of it. I just wanted to feel normal again. I wanted to go out with Maya, my girlfriend back then, to drink coffee together as we used to do. I will never forget the first time in the coffee shop together after the injury. I am in the wheelchair and she is next to me, all 5'7" of her. I saw 2 people looking at us, and I'm convinced they asked themselves, what is this beautiful lady doing with that poor guy? The waitress turned to her and asked her, does he want to eat? Does he want to sit? She speak about me over my head in the third person. Hello, I'm here, and by the way, if you hadn't noticed, I'm already sitting. Finally, we were seated, and then I needed to go to the bathroom. We spent half an hour to look for an accessible bathroom. Wow, I just really needed a hug. But how exactly do you hug a person sitting in a wheelchair? I understood then that I had life before all of this, one full of meaning, that I had looked out from the height of 6 feet. But now, there was this new life, a miserable life that I was looking out on from the height of my wheelchair. Probably in this awful life, I won't ever get a normal job, and I probably won't ever become a father, and it's obviously only a matter of time before Maya leaves me. What I'm trying to solve my problems with the same solutions over and over, I found myself drawn into an endless cycle of frustration. Throughout my life, the thing that always calmed me down was playing basketball. I knew that I had to find a way out of my pain. After a few months in the hospital, I found myself, in the first time in my new life, once again in the basketball court. It's hard to shoot when you have zero abdominal muscles and your right half hand is half paralyzed. But I remind myself over and over that there's no such things as can't. I found myself continuing to try to score with all my might. After about 50 attempts, all my strength was gone. The ball touched the lower edge of the hoop, but I had no juice left. I was defeated. Maybe there is someone who just can't? It hit me suddenly, in front of that basket, the power struggle of my new life. The basket was at the same height it had always been. I was the one who had suddenly gotten shorter. In the 6 months I was hospitalized, the psychologist has told me that it was possible to both work and to be in a wheelchair, to be a father and to be in a wheelchair, but I didn't believe her. She talked a lot. And I'd just be thinking, yeah, what does she know? She is healthy. She's probably such a liar. I always ask the same question. So tell me, Roei, when was that moment then you got back up on your feet? Well, it's a pretty dumb question to be asking in my opinion, but I do think it's a deep one. We all used to see that one moment in the movies when the hero beats all the odds and return home larger than life. Rehabilitation, it's a long, slow, boring, and ongoing journey. There are problems in life that cannot be solved in one moment. 6 months after my injury, one of the doctors of the rehabilitation department took me to see a wheelchair basketball game. For the first time, I was expecting to see sad and depressed-looking people. But to my surprise, what I saw there changed the way I understood problems in my life. It was a moment that changed the course of my life. I saw a player taking off his button-down work shirt and putting on his game jersey. So I realized that I too might be able to work one day, work and play. I saw people, some of whom were paralyzed like me, some of them were amputees, but some of them were not disabled at all. I saw a young healthy guy and I asked myself, why would this healthy guy choose to sit on a wheelchair? Then I hear him shoot in the direction of another player. Dad, why didn't you pass me? I was free. And then I realized, for the first time, that these are father and children playing together. To give you just a small glimpse into the game, the energy there was crazy. The field was the same field. The rules are even quite similar. In wheelchair basketball, each player receives different scores based on his ability. The coach puts together a team of 5 players, which equals together 14 points. I'm paralyzed in my lower body, so I'm considered to be a player with a severe limitation. Since I have no abdominal muscles, in forced to stabilize myself, I'm sitting in a lower chair than the others. I'm considered as 1-point player. When a player is less limited, he got a higher score. So, for example, a player who has his leg amputees below the knees, he will consider a 4-point. On this court, the more disabled you are, the higher value is to your team. You are suddenly more profitable to the coach and to your team. In order to win this game, you have to shake off all you know and surrender to new principles. The team that will win this game is the team whose members dedicate themselves for their teammates and strive to leverage their relative advantage that each player has. This game I had always liked changed the way I saw myself. In the beginning, I tried to be the leading scorer of the team. However, with the most severe limitation, it was hard for me to shoot. It took me a while to understand that the measure of this game, it's not how much you score, but how much you influence your team when you are on the court. Every time I tried to be the scorer of the team, I ended up on the bench, but every time I blocked another player or passed or saved, I won minutes of playing. Although I played the most minutes in the Israeli national team, I never scored the most points in any game. Even on this court, as in life, I am considerable disadvantage compared to the other. For months, when Maya, who at this point was my wife, was pregnant with our first, there was one question that drove me crazy. What kind of parent would I be if I couldn't even pick my daughter up from the floor and change her diaper? Since I don't have abs, if I bend forwards without holding on to something, I just fall forward. On one game, one of the players heard my question and answered me with a poker face. What's the problem? Pick her up from the floor like a cat pick up her kittens. For me, they were unofficial support group for the big things in life, but also for the small but not less important things. Let's continue with the parenting issue. Almost every parent knows the moment will come when one of their children overtake them in height. Usually it's happened at the age of 16. For me, it's happened at the age of 6. Have you ever tried to speak with authority with someone who is taller than you? This reality requires you to speak differently. Leadership truly can be collaborative rather than with authority. The number of my son's basketball jersey is 34. It is a combination between Steph Curry, who is a famous NBA question, whose number is 30, and 4, which is my number. For him, we are both inspiring athletes. He's still debating whether he wants to play in the NBA with Steph Curry or to play with me in the Israeli national team. There are problems in life that cannot be solved. We have not yet found the medical solution to stand back on our feet. So it is true, we are all programmed to look at difficulties in life in a certain way, of 6 foot, that all might look complicated. But this court has taught me that what looks like a problem on one court may actually be a solution on another, both in basketball and in life. The challenge is to find the right court to play, and especially the right people to play with. Thank you very much.